Hey, what's up? Good morning, to you all, wherever you at. Good evening, other parts of the world. This
Afternoon.
is KLA Cloud from around the world, and I have a guest. He's a creator of the. I hear echo or something, some noise.
No,
You got
nothing.
something on? Oh,
No, nothing. Just my.
oh, okay. But I'm sorry. I have a guest. He's the creator of Sammy Comics, and he's gonna tell you his story how he came up with 70 comics. How are you, sir?
I'm excellent. How are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm all right. What's your name again? I think it's my
Firstly,
headphones. I don't know.
thank you for having me on the show. My name is Adesamni Charles, and I'm the creator of Sanmi Crown Studios, author of Sanmi Crown Comics.
Yeah, I seen your comics on the internet. Um, so you're like the creator director.
Yes, I am the creative director. I created the
Okay.
entire SC Comic Verse. So yeah, I'm the brains behind the stories that we've been releasing for the past 2 years now.
Oh. Did you always wanted to create comics?
Okay, so it started when I was in high school. I used to draw comic books myself, and after high school, you know how it is. So growing up in African families, I was told by my parents, literally, you know what, this is not going to pay the bills. You need to, choose a career. So 2005, I had to drop everything else, and then started. I studied IT. Did IT for like 3 years. Went into hair and beauty for women. Did that for another 2 years. And but then I had this constant pull. Something kept drawing me back to my creative side. So 2016 was when I decided, you know what, I wonder what's going on in the comic scenery. Did it die down when I left the industry all those years, or has something been going on in the background? Then I realized that, you know what, so many people have already, when I jumped off the wagon, so many people actually just started, and they've been going at it since then. And I realized that there are, so many game players already in the industry. So this 2016 was a good time to, get back onto the wagon. And then I started my research. I found my niche. I found my ultimate selling point as well, which was, I mean, this was even before Black Panther was released. So I realized that there's a huge vacuum and a need for African stories. So I'll tell you something real quickly. I was having a chat with a couple of my friends in 2015, actually, a year before that. I think Thor, Dark World had just released. And we were having this conversation about how, Thor, Loki, Spider Man, most of the characters actually have similarities with authentic African stories from the African mythology. And that's where the idea started from. And then I started to do my research, and I said to myself, if Hollywood can, copy African stories and make billions from it, what would happen if we as Africans actually take our own stories, take pride in it, and run with it? And that's where SC Comics came to being. And then I started to do my research. The very first book I released is Aya the Tribe, which speaks about a kingdom that existed way before colonization. It speaks about kings, queens, kingdoms that existed during the pre colonial era in Africa. At the arc of the story, we have two realms, the realm of the humans and the realm of the gods. In Yoruba, we call them Orisha. That's where SC Comics started from. I've released about four books on Aya the Tribe. It's actually available on my website. That's the image you see behind me actually speaks about. That's Aya the Tribe being promoted right there. So, started in 2016, released my first book in 2021, which was the first issue of the Dual Elements. Um, received a bit of reception. The following year, I released the second installment of AI the Tribe, and then I decided to release Kidris Inc. It's a story of a South African superhero that lived in the year 2100s, and that people welcomed the idea. So I realized, okay, this is what people need, and then from there, I've released about 7 books. By the end of this year, I should be releasing 4 more. So I would actually be sitting on 11 books so far. So that's been my journey.
Okay. So let me get everything. So you started what, like 2012, 20? I'm sorry. I'm sure
Okay, so 2016 was when I started
20. Okay.
with the research, and in 2021, I released this one, the Door
Okay.
Element. This is actually the first print. This was a sample I received before I started to make my corrections and then printed the final batch. This is the first print of the first book I released in 2021. And yeah, and
Okay.
after that, I went on to release this one, the Origin series, and then
I
Kidris
don't know if I can
Incorporations
see it
came
too
after.
far. Yeah.
Okay, okay, let me come a bit closer. Yeah, the tribe.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I seen
Yeah.
that one on IG. Hey, I'm gonna switch it, like, after a while I'm gonna switch it, the screen. You won't see my
Okay, so
face. You're gonna see, like, your IG page. Not now, but
okay, okay.
how was the process of like creating these comics for you?
So I was speaking to someone a couple of days ago who also asked me the same question. And I said to them that I grew up thinking I had personality disorder. I would sit down and start speaking to myself, like literally um, acting out a scene, creating a probable course for myself. Um, and got me worried because I'd be with friends, I'd isolate myself. I'd have this scenarios going on in my head. It was becoming too much for me. I was having nightmares. Well, I thought I was having nightmares, but what happened was my creativity was now creating scenarios that I'm now
I'm
dreaming about
sorry.
them.
I'm hearing a noise, like a tweaking noise. I don't know if it's my side or your side.
I know it's not from here. It's not from here.
Um, Jesus. Let me see, because to take probably have to take these headphones off. I'm not sure. Hello? Can you hear me?
There's a very loud noise coming through the audio now.
I think it's your headphones. I'm not sure. Because I'm hearing this sound. Hold on. I gotta put it back on because it getting worse now.
Okay, I can't hear you at all now. Can you hear me still?
Yeah, now, yeah, I
Yeah,
can
I
hear
can hear you
you.
now.
I can hear you.
I can hear you.
Okay.
I can hear you as well.
All right. Say what you were saying. I'm sorry.
Okay, so I realized that it wasn't that I had any mental disorders. It's just because I have this ideas that needs to be worked on. So I started writing them down. When I had dreams, I would wake up about ideas. Take Kidris for instance. It came to me in a dream, and I decided, I woke up in the middle of the night. I wrote it down, and 3 issues later, I can proudly say that I have a content that people actually want. So I get ideas, a lot of ideas. I'm very imaginative. So you would find me driving, taking a walk. I see something, it springs up an idea. But most importantly, most of the characters I've created are versions of myself that I wish I could achieve.
Yeah, I'm like like who's this character? Like
All right, so this is Ifatoye. He's from an ancient African tribe, the Yoruba tribe of Nigeria.
right.
He's a seer. And during the tribe, during the dispensation within the tribe, he was
Hello? It's frozen. Come in and out. I thought this was gonna be good. I'm gonna show you guys some of his stuff, guys, because yeah, let's go with some good illustrations. Yeah, you all right?
yes, I'm all good, all good, all good. Sorry, just had a bit of a power
Okay.
interruption.
Yeah, who's this? This is what kind
All
of
right, so his name is Ifatoye. He's from the Yoruba tribe, from Nigeria. He's got a very vital role in the unfolding of the story. So during the time of the tribe, the origin series, men and Orishas lived together. And then one of the Orishas felt humans are lesser species and they should never be seen as equals. So he decided to take over Earth and made himself a self acclaimed god. Now, most of the other Orishas were not pleased with this. It led to a civil war that caused several deaths between from the human side and from the Orisha side. Now, this entity was then captured and banished to the realm of shadows. However, there's a prophecy that he will return to reclaim what is his. Now, Ifatoye is the last descendant from a human and an Orisha. So he's the bridge between both realms. He keeps communication between the humans and the Orishas. They're trying to reunite both realms to come back together because there's a prophecy that this entity will return to claim back what is his. So he believes that if all the realms are united, that's the only way they can defeat this entity. So he's at the center of a developing story.
yeah, somebody telling us how we got some loud background noise. I don't know what's going on. Hold on. Uh, I don't know if it's your end, my end.
I could try and take off my headphones.
It's,
Let's see if I can take that off.
yeah, 'cause-
Okay, I just switched off my headphones. Maybe it's
yeah, I'm
better.
gonna take mine off too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh, now what's going on? I'm sorry, man. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
You gotta sit. Okay, this is much better.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, say what you were saying, man.
Okay,
I'm
so
sorry for
I'll go back
the
to the beginning. Ifatoye comes from an African tribe, from the Yoruba tribe, Western Nigeria. Um, During the era of the first tribe, humans and Orishas lived as one, coexisting, um, married into each other. worked together to build a successful society. Because originally, the plan of the creator was the Orishas were meant to send the humans to attain a higher level of spirituality and knowledge of the things that happen around them. But now, one Orisha
Right.
felt like humans don't deserve to be equals. So he decided to enslave the human race. The other Orishas were not happy with this. It led to a civil war. Now, during the war, there was lives lost on both sides. At the end of the day, this entity was captured and banished into the realm of the shadow. However, there's a prophecy that he is already going to conquer the realm of shadow, add all the legions of beasts and entities that have been locked away for eons onto his side, and they would one day resurface and claim back Earth. So this character, Ifatoi, his duty is to reunite the realms. They were once together, now split. So the realms are the realms of the humans and the realms of the Orisha. So he's the last surviving descendant of Ormila. Ormila was also an Orisha. So his parents were human and Orisha together. So he's the last of his kind. And his job is to make sure that he keeps the spiritual communication between both realms. And he hopes to one day reunite the realms in anticipation of the evil that's coming. So he's got a very, very important role in the story.
So the Orishas are the gods.
Yes.
Oh, okay, okay. It's a lot of deep stuff. Like, where did you get this? Like, do you read like African stories, or this was told to you
So
by
what I
other
did
people?
was these stories are everywhere. We see the thing about Nigeria is if you know Nigeria very well, we have actually a tribe called the Yoruba tribe, and we most definitely have the oldest history. We are the tribe with the oldest African history. Um, and the beautiful thing about this whole the beautiful aspect is we know our history. We've passed down this history down from generation to generation, and we keep telling ourselves, although it's become tales, people do argue if it was real or not. But it's interesting to actually, listen to these stories and just imagine a world where all this were possible. And that's what I did as a creative. I decided to say, you know what, I'm gonna develop the stories that we've been told as kids, this story that has been going around for eons. Develop something, also add a bit of a creativity to it, and just write out something interesting and captivating. That's how the entire comic verse came to be, and the
Oh,
story within Aya, the tribe itself.
excuse me for a second. So, yeah, I thought you was from South Africa. That's what I thought you was when I seen like yeah. So
Yeah,
you're
I
from
live in South
Nigeria,
Africa. Well, I lived in South Africa for about 13 years.
huh?
I lived in South Africa for 13 years.
Oh, 13 years? Oh, okay,
Yes,
okay.
yes.
Why the move to South Africa? Because of the comics?
Yeah, it's not a move actually. It's just for the past 2 years, I've been traveling around the world trying to push my work out from, just being a local based comic to an international brand. So I've been going around the world. I've been to Spain. Actually, I was quite shocked to see how the African culture has been welcomed in places like Spain, Italy, and the rest of Europe. And then I decided to, spend some time in Nigeria as well. Get my roots deep into the ground, see if I can connect spiritually and get some more, content for the next phase of my comic verse.
Okay. So with the story, like you said, like you said like the history is all around, and you like you went to a library or to kind of to get your ideas down.
Sorry, say that again.
No, I'm asking you, like, so you said earlier, like, you said the history is all around, like in Nigeria, like, for
Yes.
you to get the inspiration from, like, like, so how was like that process of like, with the stories and stuff? If I could ask you that.
Okay, so we do have monuments, we have libraries, we have remnants of this dispensation lying around. We have shrines, we have people who are direct descendants to families that actually, um, have been custodians of this story, and they do.
Right.
We still speak about it. It still get taught in schools. You have professors, you have historians as well who um, still speak about these stories, although they're not as mainstream as it used to be. But for someone like me, it's just knowing where to go, knowing who to speak to, knowing what section of the library to go to, where you want to get information from. And also,
Oh,
it's in the air, it's all around you. You just have to feel it. You see a building, you see a bridge, you see a family, you hear a family story, and you instantly connect with 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 your roots. I think that's why I decided to come back to Nigeria as well, because I felt like being in South Africa and telling a Nigerian story is not the same as living in Nigeria and experiencing, taking all that energy in and then regurgitating it and giving it to the public. It feels different.
right. Yeah, there was like months ago, I was talking to another brother, and he's from Nigeria, but he lived in the States. And he was working on a comic. It's about it was more of like African history and relating to the gods, how African people connect with gods and stuff like that. I don't know if you're familiar with Old Kingdom. It's a comic stuff. Yeah, but let me show the viewers the work and stuff like that. Okay. Can you see this good?
Oh yes, yes, yes. That's
Okay.
Azania.
All right. Why don't you talk about this?
Okay, so Azania, very funny story. Came to be. I think it was over a year ago. Um, I was trying to put my daughter to bed,
Right.
and every night she'd ask me to, tell her a story. So I'll whoop out this storybook out, and then I just tell her stories from within the storybook. And then, I've always wanted to be that father that, because I remember growing up, the bedtime stories we were told were stories that we could relate to as kids. So I've always wanted to create something for my daughter. So one night I decided to tell her the story of Azania, a kingdom that exists in a futuristic Africa. My daughter's name is Jessica, but her middle name is Ariola. So I decided to put her in the story as the major superhero. And then I tell her the story every night, every night. And after I tell her the story, she would then take turns and tell the story back to me, but with a twist. So all that versions of the story, I have now put that together and created a story, which is now become Azania. Now, Azania is a demarcated Africa. It's a united Africa, free of the Western influence. It's a borderless Africa as well. So it's a kid's idea of a peaceful society where she can be a hero and protect the people she loves. So Azania is based on five kids. That's why the title is The Big Five and the Adventures of Azania. They've been selected by the elemental beats. These beats have given this five kids superhero powers, and with these powers, they are going to do a lot of good. However, there's a backstory. Eons ago, I'm not sure if you've heard about the Anunnaki.
No, I haven't heard. I mean, I'm very limited with African
Okay,
culture because I'm in the United States. I
okay,
could say that my family is from Africa. They're from Liberia.
okay.
Yeah.
All
So
right. So, um, in this story, the Anunnakis were an advanced alien species that discovered Earth billions of years ago. Their job is to go around the galaxy, spot new planets, develop it, and then destroy it on their way out. They discovered Earth, came down to Earth, found out that Earth was already this um, livable ecosystem that's fluid and works within itself. It needed nobody or um, no custodian. Yes, let me put it that way. So Earth was self uh, nutrifying and then self-sustaining. So the Anunnakis decided, okay, they needed to meddle. So they found a way to control the elements and the animals, and they created the beats of power. They created a lot of it, but five of them stood up. And with this beats of power, they were able to control the animals, control the elements, rain, water, water, air, lightning, whatever it is. And they were able to also create fruits, various kind of fruits, different kind of food. They were able to tailor the planet into their own image. However, there's a version in the book that says Anunnakis and the pot of gold, which was when the Anunnakis found gold. Now, with gold came endless possibilities. With gold, you could they could create advanced technology. With the powder itself, they could with the essence of gold, they could live forever. You could look young forever. So um, soon, the right to mine gold led to a scrabble within the Anunnaki clans because they had hierarchy, they had families, they had people who were seen as the top clan within the Anunnaki tribe. So it led to a civil war. Now, that war took its toll not only on the creatures, but on the planet itself. So Mother Nature came together, brought allies, animals, and creatures alike. And they decided to find a way to forcefully expel the Anunnakis out of Earth. Now, it's not well documented why the Anunnakis abruptly left, but the minute they left, it caused the end to the Anunnaki era, and the era of the humans began from there going forward. But it's believed that the Anunnakis want to come back. And if they come back, they are going to continue mining for gold. They're going to keep a civil war going because it's a fight between all the Anunnaki clans to see who's going to be in charge of gold. So those kids, there's a lot, but with the beads of power, they will be able to withstand the Anunnaki tyranny. And that's the story
it
within Azania.
like you said the Abenaki is like, is this a mythology or it's just something that you came up with?
There's a lot of debate actually about the Anunnakis. If you go on YouTube, if you Google, there's a lot of
Right.
documentaries about the Anunnakis or a certain advanced species that ruled Earth eons ago, and they abruptly left Earth for some reason. So I have now used that as my arc to the story, and I've created something entertaining, something captivating around that whole advanced race of beings who come to Earth, damaged Earth, and then had to leave. And then with that, I've created Azania.
Oh, okay. I mean, well, I've heard of other races like alien races being like the first inhabitants of Earth before,
Mm.
humans came. I've heard that, but not like so much of a breakdown the way how you saying it, the Abenakis and all that stuff. But I've heard, that we weren't like the only inhabitants of Earth, you know. So. But yeah, like with the artwork, like who's your artist, like, and how you connect with them doing this. Hello?
Here, creating opportunity for not just myself, but for everyone that I would say I work with. So the the comic book industry would only thrive if, so besides me creating comic books, I would love
Right.
to bring the industry to a place of recognition. And I mean the African comic book area. I'd love to bring it to a place of recognition because we do have a lot of stories, very, very interesting stories to tell. And I feel like um, artists can't tell the stories they really want to tell because they can't afford to pay the bills and still draw for themselves to sell. So they reach out to people with the story and have a bit of money to support them. So I have worked with 5 artists since I started. And these are guys that I have seen them also grow in the industry. Their art style has grown tremendously from who they were when we started to where we are now. So for A Other Tribe is being drawn by a guy called Imax Oluwasegun. That's
Okay.
his name. Kidris is being drawn by Yusuf Adeleye.
Okay. Now, who
And
drew this?
this is drawn by Emax.
You Max? Okay. And
Yes. This is drawn by a friend of mine. Sorry, his name is Tobe Max Eziogu.
okay. All right. So how did you meet these individuals, talented individuals?
Social media, social media. So when I did my research in 2016, I also decided, okay, this is the style I want for my work. So I pursued artists that I felt like they would do justice to what I hope to achieve. So Tobe was actually the first artist I reached out to, the guy who did the one you just showed now with Olokun, the lady with the water. Yeah,
Okay.
that's the first guy I reached out to. Back then, we couldn't come to an agreement because I didn't have my funds in place, and also I just wasn't ready at the time. I still had to do some more research, but I learned a lot because he was like, you know what, you can't just give me a story and not give me character sheets or actually have the characters drawn. So it took me another year or two to have all that put in place.
Okay. Can you tell about this character? Um, I kind of
All
displayed
right,
it
so
earlier, but
oh yeah. So last year we decided to experiment on a few new characters coming to the phase 2 of SC Comics. Phase 1, I would say, was a huge success. I would say people now know of my work. People have seen the kind of story I can tell. For me, phase 2 is about stretching and making the circle bigger. So I decided to experiment on a few characters, and the character you showed just now is Olokun. She is a bitter rival with the next character you just showed, Queen Alisa. They are born into a royal family. Well, one of them is adopted, the other is the original daughter. However, when you, as a parent, well, most parents find disappointment in their own child and find another person's child to be the daughter or the son they wish they had. That's the story of Queen Alisa. This is Queen Alisa. So she takes over the duties of the princess, and then the princess was relegated to the custodians of the sea. And that created a bitter rivalry between both of them, to the extent that the sister would side with an enemy just to spite her sister.
mm, okay. Yeah, this kind of reminds me of the Waterbender. I don't know if you're familiar with Avatar, the
Yes,
last
yes,
Airbender. Yeah, it can,
yes.
Yes. I actually draw some of my motivation from the avatar.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. Like yeah. So yeah. So let me show the viewers more of your work. Okay. This is you.
Yes.
Okay. And how is it like in these like comic book conventions, like when you're
Okay,
promoting
so
your stuff?
all right. So the conventions are quite cool. I know you guys have some of that in America as well. But the South African one is mostly business oriented. Um, they focus a lot on cosplay. You know, they bring guests, actors and actresses from overseas. But it's an amazing experience for us creators because at the end of the event, I think it was the one in Cape Town last year. I had Tati Gabriela come through my stand and she purchased some of the books. So Comic Con has brought artists, local artists, onto a world stage where we get to speak about our work, our passion. We get to meet our fans as well, and then you realize that you think you don't have a followership, and then you meet people who have been following you on social media, and they've been supporting you, behind the scenes without you even knowing. So yeah, we get to meet them for the first time, have that interaction, and then you also get critics as well who tell you firsthand what you should work on, what you should promote. You get to realize what people like more, and then you push that out more often than you know you usually do.
Yeah. What like tell me about this. This is wow. This is incredible.
Okay, so this is a collaboration I did with Afrogeek. Afrogeek is also a community in South Africa that has put artists together under one umbrella, and then we want to try and see how big this whole African community can get. So artists have come together under one umbrella, and this is a series of work from different artists. I think this was done by Trevor Ngwenya, if I'm not mistaken. This is his work. So he's a South African artist who does a comic book series based on Shaka Zulu, this ancient
Right.
South African king from the Zulu tribe
Right.
of South Africa.
Right.
So
Yeah,
he's
I know I'm familiar with Shaka.
yeah. And then if you go through the others, you'll find my work as well somewhere there.
Okay. Oh, so you're an artist too. Like you're not just the writer and the creative director. Like what does a creative director does? Like if you can tell me that and answer
Okay, so
that
it
question.
comes. Okay, a creative director is the visionary. I come up with the concept, I develop the story, I write the script, I outsource
Right.
talent, and then I'm a CEO slash creative together. So this Sanmi Crown Studios is my baby, and I nurture, sprinkle the water, I cut the weeds, and then I watch this whole industry grow. So yeah, that's what a creative does. And also we take the risks. I'm the investor. I'm literally everything. I'm the feel behind the vision.
Mhm. What
And my experience
what was you
as an
doing?
athlete.
Not
Sorry.
go ahead. I'm sorry. Not go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
My experience from because I used to draw back in the day as well as an artist, so that also helps me guide my team as to what I need to achieve. So they know my style, they know what I, I try to achieve because my experience as an artist helps me guide them in the right way. So no need for excessive corrections back and forth. Um, it takes us about a month, 2 months to get a book done. Whereas with other productions, people could go 3, 4, sometimes 6 months as well. So yeah,
The, what like with your books, like how long did it take you to complete?
a book on the average, it's about 3 months, and I'm talking from scripting to thumbnails to inking and coloring and lettering and going for print. About 3 months.
Okay. So you're mostly like you're the director, the writer, and the artist. Like, do you recruit writers, or are you planning to recruit writers?
I would love to recruit writers. Reason being that with the third issue of Kidweez that's going to be releasing somewhere in September, um, I didn't have the time to script it up properly, so I kind of like rushed it, and then I gave it up to the artist, and he was like, "There's a bit of an inconsistency in the story. Have you had the chance to review?" I'm like, "I don't even have time to review." So he was like, "Okay, you know what? Let me review it for you. I'll make the correction." And then he cut the script down from about almost 60 pages to less than
Okay.
30. And at that point, I said to myself, you know what? I think it's time that I started actually outsourcing my work as well. So it would be nice to have, someone who writes and has a vision similar to mine and just share the load. So yes, I would be looking to collaborate or, hire other writers as well that we share the same goal and vision.
Right.
Just to, bring a bit of a difference, a bit of a twist.
Right. Like, dude, are there like comic book artists or writers like that inspired you?
Yes, I grew up reading DC
Okay.
Comics. I was a huge fan of, obviously, Spider-Man, Batman. The only Marvel character I knew growing up was Spider-Man. I didn't even know about Captain America and all those other characters. I was more, into DC.
Right.
So yeah, I was really inspired by DC Comics growing up. However, when it comes to local artists, I think I have two guys who really inspire me a lot. Bill Masuku from South Africa and Comic Republic from Nigeria.
Okay. Now, like, is this like a side hustle, or this is just your li is this your livelihood?
I wish I could say it's my livelihood, but sadly, it doesn't pay the bills yet. It will one
That's
day.
okay.
That's why, yeah, that's why I am putting in the effort. But yeah, for now, it's a plan B.
Yeah, I mean that's cool. I mean, like, at least you got some work done. I mean, you made like some accomplishments, you know. Like,
Thank you.
I gotta, yeah, man. Like, cause it's not easy to write a comic book, or even to create a comic. I mean, I've tried to do it, like write comics and stuff like that, and it's not easy. It's not easy. I have a old classmate. He's a comic book artist and stuff. Yeah. So he worked with Marvel and DC. So he's been doing
Oh
it for like
wow,
over like 20 years, I would say. Yeah. See, he
that's
at one
nice.
point yeah, at one point he was living in Japan, and he met his wife there and stuff. Then he came back in the States, and then
Wow.
he I don't know, you familiar with the Black Eyed Peas, the
Yeah,
group,
yeah, yeah.
the
The
group.
group, the
Yeah,
group. Yeah,
he
yeah.
worked with Will I Am. He did a comic book series
Oh,
on it. It's called the Masters of the Sun. Yeah,
wow. Okay.
yeah.
The
He was
Masters of the Sun.
him. Yeah, his name is Damian Scott. Yeah, yeah,
I'll look that up.
yeah, I've been knowing
I'll
him.
look that up.
Yeah, you gotta guess, always George Page. Hey, man, what's up, man? Thank you for the heads up. Who's Sam's favorite DC character?
Ooh, that's a hard one. That's a hard one. It's really a hard one. Okay, Superman, obviously. Every child's dream is to become Superman one day. But I think as I grew up, I pulled closer to the Arrow. Also because of his struggle, and you can see that he's got no superpowers really. He's just got this natural skill, so he can also get killed. If you've seen the series, yeah, I think he died a few times, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, Green Arrow would definitely be my favorite character. Childhood though was Superman all the way.
Yeah. Did you watch the series on Green Arrow, the Arrow series?
Yeah, I watched Supergirl and DC Legends of Tomorrow. Whenever there was a
Okay.
crossover, then I would watch the Green Arrow. You know, they
Yeah.
had this episodes where they crossed over into Flash,
Yeah,
Green
I seen a
Arrow,
little
and
bit of
then
it. I really didn't watch it like constant, but I seen some of it. It was decent. Like yeah, it was all right. You know, it was
yeah, it
all right.
was, it
I'm
was.
waiting. Yeah, I'm waiting for the movies to be at that point where it's really good and
Thank
stuff.
you,
But
thank you,
yeah, I
thank
seen
you.
a little bit of the Supergirl
Yeah,
and the Infinite Crisis series when they had and stuff like that.
yes,
But I never really
definitely.
wasn't like all into the series and stuff. I did like the cartoons. I'm being a little bit. I have this interest of looking at the DC animated movies because they're looking
Mm,
interested. I'll be looking at that on YouTube and stuff like that. Let me just
mm.
see if I could pull some stuff. Like, what do you
I
think
think
about Black Panther? In your opinion?
I, I'm gonna be honest. I'll be
Yeah, go
honest.
ahead.
From a business point of view, I mean, it was smart. They needed to tap into an already thriving culture, exploiting the culture because obviously at that time we needed a black superhero, and
Right,
they gave us one, and then milk the hell out of it. However, culturally, they didn't get it right.
right. I think.
Um,
Right.
I mean, speaking about Africa as a continent, you know, there's a lot of issues that we need to be dealt with, which could have been, you know, spoken about in a very subtle way, but an already successful African economy hidden from the rest of the world. Sorry, sorry, not that story. The cast is black, but that's not a black story, unfortunately. But like I said, it was good for business, got us all riled up in Africa. But you know, yeah, I'm still waiting for the Bashega series though. The one that sets during the pre-colonial era. I think that would be more relatable if they don't think of business when it comes to that as well. I think if they do stick to the authentic, you know about the Bashega series, yes?
I'm afraid I don't, brother. I'm sorry.
Okay, so Bashega is believed to be the first Black Panther, the very first time the
Oh,
meteorite
okay.
hit Earth.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. All right. I got you.
yeah,
I got you. Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. I
So
don't. I'm not a
telling a
constant Black
story.
Panther reader.
Oh no, I understand. So telling that story would actually, you know, make more sense. I mean, and it should be more relatable because it was an era in Africa before it was, you know, polluted. So
Right. All the ways George
no,
Page. The movies will never truly follow the comics. Yeah. That I agree, George. I agree. 'Cause it's
that's
a lot of
that's
disappointments with that. Yeah. 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 I could show you a little bit of these DC. Hold on for a second.
oh yeah. I used to watch a few of this back in the day.
I've been watching like the shorts of it. Yeah, they'll
Oh
show
yeah,
like yeah, they even doing like a multiverse series of it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I actually love Constantine as well. I know it's not your
Yeah,
superhero, your typical superhero vibe. He's got a bit of a spiritual, superficial side to his story, but I feel like his stories have always been like pure and authentic in comparison
yeah.
to
He's like
the
a
other characters.
sorcerer and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
My-
like I looked at some of it, some of the
mm.
movies to this. Yeah, yeah. So, sorry, my bad.
I'm also creating my own. I'm creating my own Constantine as well. I'm
Yeah,
calling him the healer. So there's a tribe in
the
South
what?
Africa. The
No, I
healer, the
didn't get
healer.
that. Eli? Oh, okay.
Yeah, the healer. Yeah.
Break that down.
There's a tribe in South Africa. They have people in the family that have a calling. So this calling signifies that you've been chosen by the ancestors, which is your forebears, to carry the mantle and be the spiritual connection between your ancestors and your clan or your family.
Right,
But now,
right,
most of them now take it a step further, and you, as an outsider, can come to them. They do a reading for you, tell you what spiritual issues you have, and then could help you, um, could advise you or guide you spiritually on how to get away or get out of that predicament you're in. In this story, the healer, like I said, my very own Constantine, um, he performs, I wouldn't say miracles, but his healing comes from a place where if you have a spiritual issue, he would then communicate with his ancestors, and his ancestors will then communicate with your ancestor, and then sort of in a way, um, pass information across to his ancestor, and then he tells you what issues you have. But all of this happens in a split of seconds. Like it happens in seconds. It's not something that takes a while. But when we go on the spiritual journey, it takes like what, a day or two. But in actual time, it's a few seconds, which also proves to you that there is difference in time in the spiritual realm and the physical realm. So he would be doing a whole lot of spiritual battles. He'd be going across realms, fighting demons, but also from the South African uh, family practice point of view, not the Western version of sorcery and like would I'm literally going to stick to the African practices. We're talking the shrines, the setup, the outfits they put on, the language itself. And yeah, I think it's going to be very interesting. It's still in development, but I think it's going to be very, very interesting to see how the character unfolds.
yeah. All the way to George Page, they supposed to be making a Constantine sequel. The first one was all
I
right,
agree.
but it wasn't as accurate as the comic book, but it was okay.
Yeah,
It was okay. It's watchable.
yeah. I
Yeah,
think
so
because
I
it
mean,
was
like,
there wasn't a lot of sorry, there wasn't a lot of visual effects back in the day. So I think with the way we've evolved with technology now, they should be able to stick to the comic books and actually give us a Constantine. Because if you look at the Constantine from DC Legends of Tomorrow, they came close to that spiritual,
yeah,
effects and
yeah.
and all that. Yeah,
They made him like the first movie with Keanu Reeves. They made him more of an
yeah,
exorcist like that, but but like
yes, yeah,
he's like a sorcerer. He chants he chant he chants spells and all that stuff, and like they
yes,
had like the series, but it didn't last. It didn't stay long. It was like
yeah, yeah,
yeah, it was a bit accurate than the movie, I would say.
yeah. I
And
think
plus,
he's
he didn't
DC's
do the British
Doctor
accent.
Strange.
I'm sorry, he didn't do the British accent too, Keanu Reeves. He's It's like
Yes, he
himself.
didn't. He didn't. Yeah, yeah. He's supposed to have this Irish accent. I think
Yeah,
he's more like DC's Doctor Strange. You know, he's a sorcerer
yeah,
supreme for DC. They
yeah,
should keep it that way.
yeah, yeah. So so what was I gonna ask you? All right, like so you stayed in South Africa for like 13 years. Like how was that for you? Like doing comics and creating comics and stuff, or you was doing it in Nigeria?
No, no, I wasn't. When I was in high school, though, I was in Nigeria when I did that.
Oh,
But
okay.
I think doing it in South Africa is a bit better. Like for instance, when we had a comic convention, the first one after lockdown, we had about 80,000
Mm,
patrons at the venue. Nigeria's Comic Con has not really grown to that space yet. It's growing. It's really growing. But it hasn't reached, that level that South Africa has it because the South African Comic Con is actually Comic Con Africa. So you find people flying in from Kenya, Rwanda, Zimbabwe just to attend the event. The one that's happening in Nigeria, it's still a small community of, you know,
mm,
creatives coming together, getting noticed. So I think for me, South Africa has helped me reach a variety of people, a larger audience. Let me put it that way. And also because South Africa is multicultural, so you get a whole lot of multicultural fans supporting you as well. Unlike in Nigeria, where it's just mainstream.
okay. So like in terms of like outside of South Africa, do you have like other people do you connect with other people like other readers like in the
Yes.
United States or how was
Yes,
the feedback with that?
most certainly. So we have there's actually people who do fly down from the US as well. And I remember I was speaking to one of us later I found out that he was actually a producer on one of this I think it was the series with Hawk Girl and Hawk Boy, something like that. I can't really remember. I realized afterwards that he's also into he develops movies. Sorry, he develops characters from comics into films and series as well. And he was like, "This is amazing. We need more of this. Keep like he was literally saying to me, you know what? Keep doing what you're doing. Keep going strong. We need more of you in the industry." And he actually bought the entire collection, which is about 7 books. So yeah, the feedback has been really amazing, especially when I released my third book in 2022. I sold nothing.
Mm,
I released in March. I pushed, I promoted, I begged people to buy my books. Nothing. September that year I came, it was comic convention. I was very hesitant. I had nobody to invest, so I decided, you know what, I'm gonna go at it. If I get burned, I get burned. That's it. I printed the books, showed up. First day wasn't as great. Second day, I sold out all my books. Literally every single book. Like on the third day, I had to go knock at my prince's door, begging him to please just give me 10 books so I can sell for the third day. So it's been amazing. It's been an amazing experience to see that people actually there is actually people who are willing to spend their last penny to support you and show the support for what you have to tell, which is an authentic African story. So yeah,
mm. How do you stay consistent on doing what you're doing?
um, I'm very young at heart. I'll put it that way. I'm very open-minded, and I'm always open to new things. So I guess if you are always half empty, there's always space for more to go in. So I always make sure that I don't fill my glasses up and make sure there's enough space. I see opportunities, I see stories everywhere I go, and yeah, I just keep it 100, man. I keep it 100. I see possibilities. I see. Yeah, I see possibilities. That's it. Whenever I run out of ideas, because I'm a gamer as well, and I love contact sports as well. So whenever I run out of ideas, I usually find myself gaming, or just go throw ball, go kick some ball with friends, have conversations, um, learn from people as well. I mean, you never stop learning, and that's what has been keeping me going.
All the ways George Page actually Dr. Fate is DC's Sorcerer Supreme. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's true. Yeah, that's true.
Then you have Loshna Comics. True, Constantine from Arrowverse is close to actual sorcerer practice. Yeah,
I agree. I agree.
yeah. So you planning to do animations?
Yes, I did release a video earlier this year.
Okay.
With
Yeah. Tell
I
us
think
about
that's
it.
the one. That's the one.
That's the one. All
So
right. Let's
yeah, that's
watch
the
it.
one. Yeah.
Now, today, that dream has become a reality. Welcome to the SC Comic Verse.
Okay. Where would people catch this?
I do have a full video online on my YouTube page actually. So if you would go to my YouTube page, you will definitely find it there.
Oh, let me see. We can do it now on YouTube.
Yes, yes, we can.
What's your YouTube page? Wait, let me
Just
type in this
type.
YouTube stuff.
Okay.
Let me go to YouTube. All right, what is it?
Okay, you could search for SC Summer Crown Studios.
Oh, Sanmi.
S A N
So
M I.
Sanmi, Sanmi is more of part of your name and stuff. I get it now.
Yes, yes. So I am Adesamni Charles. If you flip a day and Sami around, it becomes Sami Crown.
Sanmi Crown. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, that's me.
What made you use that name? That's more like a
So
reflection of yourself.
yeah, if you could go to my main page and then you can check the other video out.
Hold on. Okay, let me see.
You can go to my
Let me
homepage.
subscribe to you.
So I was having a conversation with yeah, you should be able to find the animation here somewhere.
Yeah,
I think that's it. The first one.
this is the
Yeah.
one that was on your YouTube's. I mean your Instagram page as well.
Okay. Let me see if I can.
I don't think this is animation, but
Okay, no. Okay, I'm going to let me see if I can find it. Just give me a minute.
the illustrations to this is great, man. Like wow. Like have you ever went to like an art school or anything like that or since?
If you could go to my to the page, you search for SC Animations, SC
Oh, okay.
Comics Character Intro.
SC
Yeah, SC
animation.
Comics Character, SC Comics character intro.
See animation. I got SC animations. No,
No, no, no. SC Comics character intro.
or SC comics. Okay, so it's I
Character
gotta put the
intro. Yeah,
comics. Okay,
yeah.
comics. SC comics. Okay. No, it's not. No, I don't see it.
Okay.
SC
Go back to
comics.
the first. Yeah,
Yeah,
go back
cause
to
I'm on my
the.
phone and stuff, and this ain't really easy trying to do this and hold the. Okay, hold on. I got the SC comics animation, but this is
Yeah,
what
that's the one.
you seen on your Instagram page. Just looking at that,
Yeah, but
so
this is the full one. This is the full one now.
He desired one day have his very own comic book. Now today, that dream has become a reality. Welcome to the SC Comic Verse.
Yeah, I think this is the full one. Yeah. Yes.
wow, that's cool. Now the Wiz Kid, like, what's that? Like, what's he about?
Okay, so he's from the what's the word? He's from a minority ethnic group of South Africa. So in South Africa, they
Okay,
call them the Kalet. Yeah, and he's the future of African technology. He lost his parents at 6, joined gang in when he was 8. At
all
16,
right.
he graduated from British Columbia with flying colors. So he pioneered an advanced artificial intelligence that brought the gang from selling drugs to selling tech to criminal organizations around the world. That took him to the top of the most wanted list of all crime agencies around the world. So he fell in love with someone who was sent to set him up and um, bring him in. She became a rogue agent because of love. He decided to live the life of crime. And now, because he's helped the gang attain this high level of superiority, they are they are literally above the law. So now he's using his skills to make sure that he returns, tilts the scale of justice to the right hand side of the law. So he's creating new technology that outdates the one that the gang has. And then, so there's that struggle. And then he fights crime as well in South Africa because now, because most of the gangs are above the law and they have this advanced technology that even the law enforcement can't stop him. So he's the only one that stands in between good and bad.
Okay. Yeah, what is he like an Iron Man or something like that? Or
We could say that a mixture of Iron Man and Static Shock.
okay, all right, yeah, yeah, yeah. He do look like let me see if I got a picture of him. I think I took one. Yeah, yeah,
Yes,
Kid
that's him.
Wiz. Yeah,
That's him. And his story is very interesting because South Africa, I mean, Johannesburg is rated one of the highest crime cities in the world. And
right.
he's now in Joburg, trying to reduce the amount of crime. Um, Mostly because he feels guilty because he was the one who empowered all these gangs. So he's now using his bit of, he's turned his life around, trying to make sure that he reduces the amount of, because okay, remember the story of Tony Stark as well. His Stark Industries had sold weapons to war-torn countries around the world. One of the nukes actually almost killed him as well. So he's also coming from that dark place of so many families have been killed. So many people have been thrown into this disaster because of what I created. So he's going around doing good to try and compensate for the evil that he's done. So he's a Valentine vigilante. So there is a bit of a twist to his story as well, which you need to read the book to actually be able to understand um,
Right.
his past. And his past justifies what he had done, and it helps us understand why he now wants to turn the leaf and do good. So yeah, it's a very very interesting story.
Um, we have a comment. Emma Jones. Hey, Sammy, great stuff. You got keep going, man. Yeah, you
That's
got
one
to
of my
keep
artists,
going.
by the way.
Oh,
That's one
your
of my
artist.
artists. Yeah,
Okay.
we actually working on the second installment of the Draw Element. Yeah, that's one of my artists right there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's good stuff, man. Like how do you see yourself going with Sammy Comics, like in terms of movie deals or something like that? And do you see far like in the future
Mhm. So
going forward?
when I released my book in 2021, I had a 5 year plan. My 5 year plan saw me releasing books, saturating the industry with my work. Um, at the end of the 5 year plan, I was looking at going for live action. You know what they say, things that don't always go as planned. However, I wouldn't say that I have not seen growth. I've seen immense growth. However, I'm looking at towards the end of next year releasing an animation. I'm not sure which story I would be animating as yet, but I think at the top of my list would be Kidwiz and Corporations. That's actually my best seller at the moment. At every event, issue one flies like that. That was illustrated by the amazing Yusuf Adeleye. You should go check him on Instagram as well. He's done amazing work as well. If it's not that, then it would be Azania. Because Azania is also, I can see people are more, people are showing a lot of accolade for kids book. And also, I've had people ask me, don't you have anything for kids? When are you going to release book for kids? So, either of both would I would definitely be releasing an animation series next year. Might not be mainstream, depends on the amount of funding I'm able to secure, but I'm at least thinking of releasing like a 5 minute clip every week for like a month straight, just to tell the story, have people go crazy about this characters or this character, and yeah, just have people speaking about it, seeing how the audience takes it. So yeah, but the vision is to one day have a company that is equal or greater than the likes of Marvel and DC, but with an authentic African market. I want to create something in Africa for Africans, and because we have a lot of creatives in Africa, we have a lot of story that needs to be told. We don't
Yeah.
need to go compete with Hollywood because we live in a technological advanced society. So you can be in Africa, release stuff in Africa, and the rest of the world will get to see it. So there's no point going to Hollywood in order to be able to reach the world. So yeah, that's what I want to do. I want to create an empire, Summer Crown Studios, a company that creates authentic African stories, and also not just my story, but other creators as well can come via my channel and release their work to the world. That's where I see myself in the next 4 5 years.
Well, I'm seeing a little bit of Africa kind of doing their own thing. They do have African movies and stuff. I don't watch them
Mm,
like that, but I remember there's Black Americans that do watch the African movies and stuff. And yeah, yeah, and then I do see some African animation as well. I know some. Like there's some there's like there's this woman like she's Black American, and she was working with an African artist. Yeah,
Okay.
her comics is called Kente Comics, and she started that. She was an editor of a newspaper or something like that, and she's from Oakland, and she kind of
Okay.
created like this universe of like I would say like African like in space type thing and stuff. Like
Mm,
one of
mm,
her comics
mm.
is like Firebird, where she has fire power. Her powers is from fire and stuff. It's almost like a rogue
Okay.
and Human Torch type of thing. I was
Okay.
kind of
Okay.
like interviewing another gentleman. He's from Nigeria, and he it's called Mago Comics, and then he'd been working on that for like a while and stuff. Yeah, so
Okay.
yeah, since I've been on Instagram, like looking at, I've been kind of like wanting to interview like people that create comics. I've been seeing African African creators and Black American creators and stuff, and I'll kind of ask them, for an interview and stuff, and some are open to it, and some, it's whatever. But yeah, so yeah,
Yeah, I can imagine.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, I mean, thank you for your time, man. I really appreciate it. Yeah. Do you have
Thank you for
questions or
having me.
you have any comment or anything like that? Shout out to
No, most certainly, most certainly, most certainly. My question is, are you a creator or you also just are a comic fanatic as well?
well, I'm not a creator, but I could say that I draw. I don't draw lately, but there's times I've done like there was moments where I try to create a comic book of my own and stuff like that. I was kind of interested. I've done animation courses. But it's just a couple of animation courses and stuff like that. I, I'm more of a creative guy. I'm not an artist. I
Okay,
don't call myself an artist. I'm just creative. Like anything I want to do, I do it in a creative way. So,
okay, okay.
yeah,
Okay, that's good. That's good. That's good.
yeah, man. Yeah, man. Is there something that we ain't cover? I know. Like now, who's this? Like, is this similar
All
to
right. So
the Waterbender?
yeah, so from Azania, this is the character that I developed based on my daughter. She's got the exact same hair, and the smile as well. So this character is based on Ariella, my daughter, which features in Azania as well. She's blessed with the power of the ancient phoenix.
Mm, okay.
Yeah, that's all I can say for now. I don't want to give too much away for now.
Nah, it's cool. Yeah, it's
Um,
cool.
yeah,
It's cool.
yeah. And she's part of the big five. All five friends. So let me just give the viewers a bit of information. So these kids have a project in school. It's the year 21 something. So in the year 2056, another pandemic hit, and this time around, it killed over 80% of life everywhere else in the world except in Africa. Again, so traveling around the world was banned because every country was trying to keep the borders clean and safe from this virus. However, news went around the world that Africa is thriving. Africa is not getting people aren't dying like the rest of the world is. So people started showing up at the borders of Africa, trying to seek asylum in Africa, this safe haven from this pandemic. And Africa, as she's always welcomed the rest of the world, welcome them again. But most of those people came with the virus, which then mutated and started killing the African population, but also just at the top part of Africa. by the Sahara. Anything beyond the West African border, the virus is not even existent. So, at the summit of the year 2058, doctors, politicians all came together and decided to move. There was a massive migration. The top part of Africa was abandoned for the other side of Africa now. What's left in the top part of Africa is solar panels, which was built to power the entire planet. But now, obviously, only powers the rest of the continent. So, West Africa is now North Africa, and there are huge border walls across West Africa from Nigeria all the way to Djibouti, and at the bottom as well by South Africa, massive walls as well. So um, Africa continued to thrive for another 100 years. However, 100 years later, our kids are born, and then there's this man called Femi Adeoye, which is one of the lead characters. He wonders if everybody else in the other part of the world are actually dead. So he comes up with a rescue force who goes around the world and try and bring people to Africa, people who don't know about the safe haven in Africa, people who are suffering, and then they realize that some people actually did survive the pandemic and they live in like cavemen. So they'll bring them, to Africa. And with this people came remnants from older worlds, including the Anunnaki world. So some of them came with the Anunnaki remnants to Africa, like trying to buy their way with treasure into Africa. So all these are collected and put in the museum. Now, our kids have a project in school about the Anunnaki Empire. They're supposed to, come to school with this Anunnaki remnant, something that nobody has ever seen before, or write an article. So these five kids decide to go visit the museum now because they know someone who worked at the rare artifact section of the museum. They were able to go further in, and then one way or the other, they were able to meddle with the five beats of power, five elemental beats of power, which is where they get their powers from. And then what happened was the minute those beats were activated, the Anunnakis, wherever they were notified. And now those five good beats were activated as well as five evil beats as well. So the story goes on from there. I don't want to give too much away. So yeah, that's how
Yeah,
the story of Albania comes to be.
yeah. No, I appreciate it. I appreciate. I think I need that visual, the visual, because you're telling it's a lot that you break it down. So yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, I really appreciate you giving me the opportunity to talk with you. I'm sorry for our start. It was kind of, I don't know,
Thank you
my
so much.
headphones. Yeah, man.
It's
Appreciate
okay.
you.
This thing
Maybe
happens. This
talk
thing
in the
happens. But thank
future.
you. Most certainly.
No
Most
doubt.
certainly. Let's do this again. Let's do this again.
All right. All right. All right,
All right.
folks. Thank you for tuning in on the Ray George page. Other people, Lord Schnuck Comics, Emma Jones. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thanks again. All right. I'm signing out. See y'all later.
Cheers, guys. Thank you. Bye.